We welcome in Rich Rubino, political analyst and author of The Great American Political Trivia Challenge. It's good to see you, sir. Let's talk a little bit about this razor-thin majority. We know that it now, with this resignation, it makes the House's margins even slimmer. She also shows that she was capable of wedging a divide within the GOP and the MAGA movement. What do you think the future of the political party for the Republicans looks like?
We're really at a flashpoint here, and part of it is in the MAGA movement, and a lot of that is about foreign policy. Donald Trump ran on America first. There are many in the Republican Party. Tom Massey from Kentucky's one. Marjorie Taylor Greene is another, that are very much non-interventionist in foreign policy. They're really very much the precursor of this was Ron Paul when he ran for president in 2008, 2012. Rand Paul, senator from Kentucky, is very much one of them as well. When it comes to issues like Venezuela, for example, when it comes to Israel, Marjorie Taylor Greene was the first Republican who's called the actions in Gaza a genocide, for example. There are others in the conservative movement like Tucker Carlson who are also on that end. And then there are more the establishment center-right type Republicans who are very much supportive of the Israeli government, for example, like Randy Fine, a congressman from Florida, and are very much interventionist in terms of foreign policy. And I think when it comes to 2028, there's really probably going to be an internecine fight specifically on foreign policy issues between the non-interventionist, who potentially Marjorie Taylor Greene is running for president, and someone who is more or less an interventionist in foreign policy.
Yeah, President Trump running on the American first policy, but Marjorie Taylor Greene would disagree with that as far as what he's done so far, saying that he spent way more time on foreign affairs than what was actually happening to Americans and the things that they were discussing at their dinner tables. Let's talk about sort of what our future looks like. We talked about the future of the political party. What about for Marjorie Taylor Greene? Do you think that she stays in politics?
It's a great question, and this was obviously something that very few people actually expected that she was going to do. There's certainly a rift in the conservative movement between her and between Donald Trump. What she might do in the future, I don't know. Potentially, she could run for president in 2028. She probably won't run. She had potentially, I think, in the past, talked about potentially running for the United States Senate, potentially running for governor. I don't think that's necessarily going to happen right now. My guess is she's probably going to take a little rest for a short period of time. But I think that what's really interesting is this overemphasis on foreign policy, which she's really made kind of her flagship issue. That's how Bill Clinton won in 1992 against George H.W. Bush, talking about an overemphasis on foreign policy. Generally speaking, when the American people are hurting economically, foreign policy becomes secondary or tertiary type issues.
So let's talk a little bit about this new meeting that just happened in the Oval Office between President Trump and Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani. We heard them both speaking about their agenda, about affordability, an issue that propelled them both into office. I wonder whether or not this was a strategy from President Trump to sort of be able to take credit if all of a sudden prices start coming down in New York.
That's a great question. It's kind of, I guess it's performative on both sides. And I think certainly he realizes from the results of the governorship elections in New Jersey and Virginia and certainly what happened in New York City mayor's race, that affordability is really the flagship issue right now with the American people. But it's interesting about Donald Trump, and a lot of people are saying, I can't believe how he was so cordial and how he was so convivial in this meeting. But Donald Trump really is not really necessarily an ideologist. It's not necessarily about ideology. It's about realpolitik. It's about trying to find common interests with other leaders. And sometimes that's somebody who is on the other ideological side of the spectrum. Obviously, I think for the part of Republicans, I think Mike Johnson was probably frowning when he saw this, because every Republican wants moderate Democrats to have to be tethered to Mr. Mamdani, and they want to say that this person running in, Orange County, California, is somehow an acolyte of a socialist mayor of New York City. Right. Socialism we've never had an effective socialist party in the United States like we have in other countries.
Yeah, and we've already seen some Republicans speak out and, offer some sense of shock. I'm thinking specifically Representative Elise Stefanik running for New York governor, saying, tying her whole campaign on the idea that, Mamdani is this democratic socialist and it's essentially an enemy of the Republican Party. So very interesting to see how that works out, how that plays out, and sort of the backlash that Oval Office meeting has already generated. Rich Rubino, thank you very much for your time there, sir.
My pleasure. Thank you.